So you just finished up watching the latest horror movie, The Turning, and are absolutely baffled because the movie essentially hit a dead end and the credits began to play. Like, did I miss something big? What does this cliffhanger mean? Did the film production team run out of money? What is happening? Well, don't worry, because today we're going to break down all of the unanswered questions you have and try to explain it in the easiest way possible. Hello everyone, Jared here, and The Turning has been turning a lot of heads, but seriously though, a lot of people have been coming out of this film thoroughly confused by that entire third act, that almost dead end finish of the film. Well, don't worry, because we are going to be diving into all of the interpretations, the meanings, the themes, and what the filmmakers were thoroughly actually going for in this film. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I explain this latest horror film, The Turning. So it is safe to say if you are watching this video, then you watched The Turning. If not, here's a quick refresher.
The Turning opens with a deranged nanny running from the Bly Manor in the middle of the night. A young creepy girl stares out the window as she frantically drives away. However, like any scared woman in a horror movie, she almost escapes the haunted house until a creepy guy in a beard attacks her. Wow, what a setup! Now the setting changes to an apartment with a newscast telling the audience that Kurt Cobain had just died. This clever touch lets the audience know that the film is set in 1994 because putting a date in the corner was so 2019, or may confuse people if they don't know who the famous basketball player was. We're introduced to Mackenzie Davis's Kate character, who just got the stay-at-home teaching gig at the same creepy manor from the beginning of the film. Yay, not haunted at all. Before she heads out, she visits her mom in what appears to be a mental facility, painting in an empty pool. Pay attention closely because this may come into effect later on. Kate then makes her way to the Bly Manor to teach the young Flora, and unfortunately the dickhead Miles as well, because he was just kicked out of boarding school. Oh, there's a super creepy nanny as well named Mrs. Gross, who could easily be a ghost or ghoul this whole time. Honestly, I'm surprised that's not the way that they went. Also, this creepy spider scene from the trailer is nowhere in the movie. Good job, trailer hype team, good job. As Kate is teaching these children, not only do they act weird, but also creepy phantasms reveal themselves in mirrors, throw objects, and ultimately reveal themselves as Quint and Jessel, the deranged woman and creepy man at the beginning of the film.
Okay, now that we're all caught up from that brief outline of kind of what's happening in The Turning, let's get into all of the interpretations, the themes, the hints, the clues that the filmmakers put into this movie, all the way from kind of, the mother to Jessel and Quint, all the way to that, ambiguous ending. So let's not waste any more time. Run it. Okay, let's be honest, The Turning just ends. The film doesn't seem to have a proper ending and is very much left up for interpretation, or you really need to dive into the details and fill in the blanks. After a lot of thinking and a lot of drinking, I have come up with three different meanings for the ending of the film, and I'll let you know at the end which one I really think the filmmakers were going for. So let's start with the first one. The opening of the film opens with former teacher Jessel attempting to leave in a mad fury, but is ultimately stopped by the stable hand Quint. And then poof, it dives into Kate's story. But throughout Kate's stay at the Bly Manor, she continues to find context clues about Jessel's stay at the Bly Manor and her relationship with Quint. It is in Jessel's diary that Kate reads that classes with Flora are going well, but as the days draw on, the stable hand Quint's efforts of pursuing her have gone from innocent to outright brooding, attempting to break into her room at night, his constant staring, and taking of Polaroids while she was sleeping. Now, Polaroid was an American company founded in 1937 that used its polarizing polymer to create the next generation of photographs, and made famous the Polaroid picture that was an instant picture printed right out of the camera. After shaking it would reveal your photograph. Also made famous by the hit Outkast song, Hey Ya. So the hints from the diary combined with the opening scene give us an insight into what happened to Jessel. But as the story continues, Kate is constantly hearing voices, seeing doors and other objects move, even seeing glimpses of ghostly figures in all of the mirrors, which this mansion has entirely too many mirrors. Anyways, at one point, Kate is drawn outside by a random figure in the distance, which is always a good idea, wanders into the courtyard, into the nearby woods, and is yanked into the nearby lake, only to find what appears to be Jessel's body. One of the ghostly figures in the house, the woman with long hair, is that of Jessel. The hauntings have been Jessel trying to warn Kate of the dangers of Bly Manor. But what dangers? The only other ghost figure is that of a man, but who is he? Well, there has been a couple times throughout the film where a man has been seen walking around a corner only to reveal Miles is in that room. And later, Miss Gross informed Kate that Quint had died by falling off of his horse because he had drank too much. So obviously the other spirit is that of Quint. But if he had nothing to hide, why would he be haunting the manor? Again, there are two scenes where Kate is drawn to an old bedroom because of the clanking noise, only to realize the room is empty. But we all know the sound of two people. Finally, the third time Kate approaches the room, the spirits reveal themselves to show Jessel being assaulted by Quint. The diaries were right. The haunting is of Quint. He never fell from his horse. He was murdered. But by who? Well, if we play a quick game of Guess Who, does the person have a never mind. Mrs. Gross admits to killing Quint because he was a nasty, brooding man. But how did she do it, as he was so much more brooding than her? Well, there are two subtle scenes in the film that indicate how Quint perished. One is the first scene with Flora, talking about how apple seeds contain cyanide, which is poisonous, while the other scene is Mrs. Gross intensely cutting up apples. Well, duh, Mrs. Gross pulled an old Snow White evil witch poisoned apple trick to murder Quint. At this point, though, Quint's ghost tosses Mrs. Gross off of the banister, down the stairs, and she splats across the ground. Kate frantically collects the kids, however Miles refuses because Quint has a hold of him. Luckily he breaks free and they pile into the car, drive through the gate, and escape these two ghosts that have been haunting them. The whole time there has been two phantasms, one trying to reveal the truth while the other was trying to cover it up. You know what they say, there's always two sides to the watermelon. Oh, they don't say that? Okay. So that is theory one, classic case of drunken horny guy kills young teacher and tries to cover it all up by haunting the manor. You know, your classic run-of-the-mill ghost story horror film. But I think theory 2 is going to pick up on some of the details that theory 1 really missed out, and I think that this one has more kind of, a stronger play into it. So throughout her stay at the manor, Kate has been slowly going crazy, right? Okay, I'm no medical professional, but weird things are happening, and she is seeing some haunting shit. However, whenever Kate sees or hears something, none of the other members of the house see or hear them. Are they messing with her, or are they scared of the spirits? For example, when Kate believes that there is something in the pool, she runs downstairs, jumps in, only to realize that it's the old sewing doll and the kids are playing a prank. Or how about when she's playing flashlight tag with the kids and is locked in a scary storage room, which is something an older sibling always did to me, where Miles is tormenting her, only to realize it wasn't Miles at all. Or when she's having creepy nightmares of riding horses with Miles, or Miles coming to her room to caress her. Is Miles trying to Kate? Anyways, what I am saying is she is seeing things that quite possibly are not there. And all of this makes a bit more sense when Kate gets a letter from her mother and Mrs. Gross says, "You know, these things run in the family." Now, if we remember from the beginning of the film, Kate visited her mom in what appeared to be a mental hospital. Her mom barely recognized her and is clearly not with it. Well, come on, she had a husband leave her and she had to take care of a child herself. That's probably a lot of the reasoning, right? Well, if we look at the ending of the film where they all escape, but then time rewinds back to that moment that Kate is opening her mail from her mother and Mrs. Gross says the line again. This isn't just rare happenstance or some sort of malarkey. This is a clear sign that Kate is borderline losing it. I mean, from the beginning of the film where she is all buttoned up and proper to now looking like she hasn't gotten sleep in weeks and disheveled, something is obviously going on in her mind. The next scene, Kate is with Miles and Flora, frantically claiming that she saw a ghost of Quint in one of the mirrors and pleads with Flora to admit that she saw it too. Unfortunately, Flora denies seeing anything. Another sign that something is seriously off about Kate. Soon after, Kate has another one of her dreams/visions, only to wake up in her bed. But the bed is in the vacant pool where her mother had been painting at the start of the film. Kate sees her mother, approaches, only to be absolutely horrified when she turns around, and cut to black. This is where the credits begin to roll. So what the f***, right? Well, the meaning behind this is the fact that yes, Kate is going crazy, not because of the house, but because of the genetic makeup she came from. She is predisposed to mental illness and throughout the film has been running from the truth, avoiding the mail from her mother and going away to teach these children. But no matter how far she can run, the package in the mail, aka mental illness, will find her, which was a metaphor for the idea and reminder that she is just like her mother. Someone who is mentally not all there, suffering from dementia, hallucinations, and yelling at people at the local Walmart, calling them an accuser of the brethren. There were never any ghosts or voices or flashlight carrying kids. It was all in Kate's mind as the labyrinthian style home slowly drove her nuts, meaning that the last 10 minutes of frantically leaving the manor and saving the children never happened. Kate is crazy. So that is theory 2, a bit more explanation into the dreams and weird things that Kate's character is seeing, diving into, that mental illness and how it can actually be a plague or a ghost or a haunting thing that really follows you through life, and it really makes you kind of lose your mind. However, this third and final theory, I think that this one holds the most clout and really ties everything together in this film. So this final theory is a bit of a stretch, but all of the breadcrumbs have been sprinkled throughout the film. The film is set in the 1990s, right? From all of the decor, the outfits, the technology, even the music. Now the music is one of the biggest clues here. Kate listens to a lot of music, and if we go all the way back to the beginning of the film, what major event is on the television? The death of Kurt Cobain, who wasn't a famous basketball player at all, but rather a mega grunge/punk rock star. So why would such an event be at the forefront of the film, aside from letting us know that the film is based in 1994? Because Kate, from the story, is actually the one and only Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain's wife, fellow musician, and murderer of Kurt Cobain. It was never a suicide. It was a purposeful, violent, and hazy act that Courtney Love hid. And the ending of the film is when Kate's character is all disheveled and looking drugged out. It is her coming down from a drug trip only to realize what has happened, and everything else in the film was a big drug trip full of hallucinations. Allegedly, my lawyer said I'm supposed to say that word. The Turning is an inside the mind look type movie, showcasing what Courtney Love was going through at the time of Kurt Cobain's death in 1994. Or it's just a lousy horror adaptation that tried to be edgy and cool with its ambiguous ending. I mean, either or. So that is it, the many interpretations of The Turning, the split decisions the filmmakers chose to go with, mental illness, a classic haunting horror story, and throwing in some pop culture references in there as well. What kind of interpretation did you think that this film really held? Which one has the most evidence towards that's the actual ending of The Turning? I would like to know. Everyone here at JBuck Studios would like to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, more ending explained poorly videos. I love doing these videos, many videos, the full actual review of The Turning, and then tomorrow the Gentleman review. Stay tuned for all of that stuff. Just click all those social medias, like this channel, subscribe to this channel, share this video out. If you like this video, thank you so much, and until next time, we'll see you later.